The atmosphere around New Zealand rugby has changed dramatically in just a matter of weeks, and many supporters believe they are finally witnessing the return of the identity that made the All Blacks the most feared team in world rugby for generations. After years of uncertainty, criticism, and constant debate about the direction of the national side, optimism has returned. 3 consecutive victories in the Nations Championship have not only lifted confidence inside the squad but have also reignited belief among fans across New Zealand and around the rugby world. While the biggest challenges of the season still lie ahead, especially an eagerly anticipated tour of South Africa, there is a growing feeling that this team is beginning to rediscover the qualities that once defined New Zealand rugby. Few people understand those qualities better than legendary former head coach Sir Steve Hansen, whose comments following the team's latest victory have only added to the excitement surrounding this evolving group. For Dave Rennie, taking charge of the All Blacks was never going to be a simple assignment. Expectations in New Zealand rugby are unlike those in almost any other sport. Winning is considered the standard rather than the exception, and every performance is examined in remarkable detail. When the coaching change occurred after the departure of Scott Robertson, emotions throughout the country were mixed. Some questioned whether another coaching transition would create further instability, while others hoped a fresh voice could unlock the enormous talent available throughout New Zealand's rugby system. Regardless of individual opinions, everyone agreed that restoring confidence, clarity, and consistency would be the biggest priorities for the new coaching staff. Early results suggest that progress is being made. Victories over France, Italy, and Ireland have each demonstrated different strengths within this developing squad. The opening win against France required discipline, composure, and defensive resilience against one of Europe's strongest teams. The following performance against Italy showcased improved attacking rhythm and greater confidence with ball in hand. However, it was the commanding 40-21 victory over Ireland at Eden Park that truly convinced many observers that something meaningful may be happening inside this All Blacks camp. Facing an Irish side known for its structured attack and relentless work ethic, New Zealand delivered a performance that combined physical dominance with intelligent decision-making. From the opening whistle, the home side looked determined to dictate every aspect of the contest. Their defensive line speed disrupted Ireland's rhythm, while their attacking movement consistently created opportunities in both wide channels and through the middle of the field. Instead of relying on individual brilliance alone, the team appeared connected, with every player understanding his specific role within the overall game plan. That collective understanding immediately caught the attention of Sir Steve Hansen. Speaking on the Rugby Unity podcast, the legendary coach praised the clarity that was visible throughout the squad. According to Hansen, every player appeared to understand exactly what was expected, allowing the team to play with confidence rather than hesitation. That observation may seem simple, but in elite international rugby, clarity often separates good teams from championship-winning sides. When players trust both the system and each other, they react instinctively instead of second-guessing their decisions. One of the most encouraging aspects of New Zealand's recent performances has been the visible increase in tempo. The All Blacks have looked far more willing to keep the ball alive, support offloads, and challenge defenders with continuous movement rather than stopping to reset after every phase. This style has long been associated with New Zealand rugby at its very best. It demands exceptional fitness, technical skill, communication, and trust among teammates. Maintaining that level of intensity throughout 80 minutes is incredibly difficult, but when executed properly, it becomes extremely challenging for opponents to defend. The victory over Ireland provided multiple examples of that philosophy. Instead of forcing miracle passes or attempting risky plays in poor positions, New Zealand combined patience with ambition. The forwards consistently generated quick ball at the breakdown, allowing the backs to attack against unsettled defensive lines. Every successful phase increased pressure on the Irish defense until opportunities naturally appeared. Rather than chasing spectacular moments, the All Blacks created them through sustained pressure and intelligent decision-making. According to Sir Steve Hansen, another noticeable improvement has been the team's renewed sense of purpose. Every collision, every defensive tackle, every support line, and every attacking movement appeared to have genuine intent behind it. Rugby at the highest level is often decided by small details rather than dramatic moments. Winning the race to a loose ball, arriving quickly at a breakdown, making the correct defensive read, or choosing the right passing option can collectively determine the outcome of an international test match. Hansen believes the current group is beginning to master those details once again. The contrast with previous seasons has inevitably become a major talking point. During the latter stages of Scott Robertson's tenure, criticism frequently centered on the team's perceived conservatism. Some supporters argued that selection decisions lacked boldness, while others believed the attacking system had become too predictable. Whether those criticisms were entirely fair remains a matter of debate, but there is little doubt that the current team appears more willing to embrace an expansive style of rugby. That attacking mindset has not come at the expense of discipline. In fact, many analysts believe New Zealand's improved running game has actually enhanced its tactical kicking. Instead of kicking simply to relieve pressure, the All Blacks now appear to kick with specific attacking objectives in mind. As Sir Steve Hansen explained, a dangerous running game forces defenses to respect multiple threats. When defenders anticipate a pass or a line break, space naturally opens elsewhere on the field. Intelligent kickers recognize those spaces immediately. Players such as Jordie Barrett have demonstrated outstanding vision by placing accurate kicks behind advancing defensive lines, forcing opponents to turn and chase instead of pressing forward aggressively. Those moments create territorial advantages while simultaneously applying psychological pressure. Every successful tactical kick forces defenders to reconsider their positioning during future phases, making New Zealand's overall attack even more unpredictable. Similarly, Ruben Love has impressed with his ability to identify opportunities for valuable 50-22 kicks. Those kicks do more than gain territory. They provide attacking lineouts deep inside opposition territory while rewarding players for accurate execution under pressure. Modern rugby increasingly rewards teams capable of mixing running, passing, and kicking within the same attacking sequence. Predictability is quickly punished at international level, but variation forces defenses into constant uncertainty. Sir Steve Hansen referred to this balanced approach as the triple threat game, a philosophy deeply associated with some of New Zealand's greatest teams. The concept is straightforward in theory but exceptionally difficult to master in practice. Every player must possess the confidence to run when opportunities exist, the awareness to pass when support arrives, and the composure to kick when defensive space becomes available. Achieving the correct balance between those three options requires countless hours of preparation and exceptional decision-making under intense pressure. What has perhaps impressed supporters even more than the tactical improvements is the visible unity within the current squad. Television cameras have repeatedly captured players celebrating defensive turnovers with as much enthusiasm as scoring tries. Veterans and younger players appear equally invested in each other's success. Body language during difficult moments has remained positive, with leaders constantly communicating rather than showing frustration. Those qualities rarely appear by accident. They typically develop through trust, accountability, and shared purpose inside the team environment. Building that culture has been one of Dave Rennie's most important responsibilities since accepting the role. Every international coach inherits talented athletes, but transforming a collection of outstanding individuals into a cohesive team requires something much deeper than technical coaching. Successful national sides often speak about creating an environment where players feel confident expressing themselves while remaining completely committed to collective goals. Early indications suggest that the current coaching staff has made meaningful progress in that area. Nevertheless, nobody inside the New Zealand camp is likely to believe that the job is finished. 3 impressive victories represent an encouraging beginning rather than a completed transformation. The upcoming tour of South Africa promises to provide an entirely different level of examination. Facing the reigning world champions on their own soil has historically represented one of rugby's greatest challenges. The physical intensity, tactical complexity, passionate crowds, and unique playing conditions combine to create an environment unlike any other in international rugby. Matches between the All Blacks and the Springboks have always carried significance beyond ordinary test rugby. They represent decades of fierce competition between two nations whose rugby traditions rank among the richest in sporting history. Every collision, every set piece, and every tactical decision is magnified because both teams understand precisely what victory means. A successful tour would not simply strengthen New Zealand's position in the international rankings, it would provide powerful evidence that this rebuilding process is moving firmly in the right direction. Former players have also expressed growing optimism. Many have noted that the current squad appears to enjoy playing together, an observation that often signals a healthy team environment. Confidence can never replace preparation, but when talented players genuinely trust each other, their natural abilities become far easier to express under pressure. That confidence becomes particularly valuable during difficult moments when matches remain tightly contested. Supporters throughout New Zealand have responded enthusiastically to the team's resurgence. Stadium crowds have rediscovered their voice, social media discussions have shifted from frustration toward optimism, and former players have spoken positively about the renewed energy surrounding the national side. While experienced fans understand that every international season includes setbacks, Many believe they are finally watching a team capable of growing into something special over the coming years. Ultimately, the praise offered by Sir Steve Hansen carries exceptional weight because it comes from someone who understands exactly what sustained excellence demands. His championship-winning teams establish standards that remain the benchmark for New Zealand rugby. When a coach of his experience recognizes clarity, unity, purpose, and intelligent decision-making within the current squad, supporters naturally pay attention. At the same time, neither Hansen nor Dave Rennie would suggest that trophies are won after 3 successful matches. International rugby has a habit of testing confidence just as quickly as it builds it. Even so, there is genuine reason for optimism. The All Blacks are playing with greater freedom, smarter tactical awareness, stronger defensive commitment, and a renewed willingness to embrace the adventurous style that has defined New Zealand rugby for generations. Their victories over France, Italy, and Ireland have restored belief, but the coming weeks will determine whether this impressive beginning develops into something truly memorable. If they continue combining physical intensity, tactical intelligence, and unwavering unity, the All Blacks may once again become the standard that every other rugby nation is trying to reach, and the rugby world will be watching closely to see whether this exciting new chapter becomes the foundation of another golden era in New Zealand rugby.